So hello again everybody. I hope everybody's had a great weekend so far. Today we're going to take a look at this Dassault Aviation Rafale C in 148 scale from Revell. In my experience, 148 aircraft are usually pretty good from Revell. Can't say the same about the 144 aircraft. The smaller ones, I mean the one in between, what is it, 172? I don't know anything about because I don't build them. But we're going to take a look at this and see how it looks. So you can see this instruction sheet is one of the newer types in color. I wish they would have saved a little bit of money on printing instructions and put it more into the kits. A painting chart in color is useful, but an instruction manual in color, okay, maybe the front picture, but the rest can be black and white. It doesn't really matter. That's just my opinion on it. And here's your color chart, the colors you'll need to build the model. Looks like a lot. So here we have a sprue plan, or whatever you want to call it. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 sprues of plastic. This is clear. Yeah, it looks like there's a couple in here. Either it's blacked out because you don't need it. I think those are blacked out because you don't need it. And this one is, yep, those are also, these are also blacked out almost a whole tree because it's not used. There's only a few parts on this sprue that you'll use, a couple missiles. So like on most aviation kits, you start with the cockpit, build the seat. Here we have some painting instructions, cockpit floor, control panel stick, putting the display in, this lever, joystick here on the side. You see here's painting instructions also for the, see this looks a little bit like how Monogram used to do it actually, but it was in black and white, but it doesn't matter if it's in color or black and white. With the painting instructions for the separate parts like this, that's pretty good. Then here number 3, put the seat in. Number 4, I believe this is the front wheel well, it looks like it. We'll find out in a sec. Number 4. No, this is the back piece of the canopy you see here. So we have here, like the dashboard part goes here on the top, and then this piece goes in the back. And you have some cutting instructions here. And you put this into the fuselage. This is the top part of the fuselage here. And we have a couple of detail parts going into the top of the fuselage. Have the forward canards. Put them forward canards in. It looks like they should rotate. That's why we're putting them in when we're putting the fuselage together. Then here we have the exhaust nozzles. Vertical stabilizer. There's also, you have to cut this piece off the top of the vertical stabilizer. It's like a little prong pointing up. A couple of detail parts going here onto the back. Here we have the air brake. Another little detail part that goes here. Same on the other side. I believe this is the intake. Looks like the intake. Yes, look. And there's the other side. The 2 intakes go in. The nose cone goes on. Then here we build the wings. We have some lights that are separate. Plus a couple other little parts that go here on the inside. 2021 you put the wings on, as well as another light here on top. Then we have these here, more lights. It's kind of cool they're putting these lights on separately like this. And I hope they're in clear plastic. Then we have also some, then here you have some pylons, as well as a couple lights to put on. Here we have a landing hook. In 25 here we're building, no, it's a landing gear. I'm not sure if it was the front or the rear. Then you can see here we're building the main landing gear together. Putting it in, and then you have this other couple pieces that go into it here. It's like the piece on the side. Then you do the same thing on the other side. And same instructions on the other side. Build the wheels together. Put the wheel on. Here's the doors. Same thing on this side, the wheel, the doors. They're making it a little bit more complicated than they should, I think. And we have the front landing gear and the doors here. Or no. Then we have the front landing gear with the landing lights here. And also the piece in the back that's stabilizer. And putting the wheels onto the front. Putting the doors on, as well as a couple little little detail part here. And you see, if you want to have open landing gear, you have to cut the front door in half. It says also here. But this is instructions if you want it landing gear up. Then we go into some more detail here. Some small parts to go here on the front, on the nose. Refueling probe. The back here in the canopy, or in the cockpit, the front glass. Oh, this is, here we're putting the canopy together. Here you put the front and the back canopy on. Here's instructions if you want to open canopy. In this step we're putting on some antenna on the front. I think they're antenna. Then here we're starting to build weapons pylons for the missiles. Those aren't missiles, those are bombs, I think. Also a pod, external fuel tanks, more. Here's some missiles to build. This says what they are. That's a GBU-12 Mica 1R. It doesn't say what this is, but it's a external fuel tank. Okay, this is some kind of pod. Scalp EG. Is it a pod? No, it looks like a ballistic missile or something. Yeah, I would say it's a ballistic missile. And here we're putting everything, all the munitions onto the aircraft. Looks like it holds quite a bit for such a small aircraft. And now we have paint instructions here. It looks like a really cool looking camouflage. Looks like you do some base painting here before you put the decals on. Black, white, and gray. Should be easy enough, I hope. So it's two different versions, I see. So you can do it without the tiger stripes, it looks like that, or with the tiger stripes. I bought this because I wanted to do this. It looks really awesome with these tiger stripes on the tail. I just hope the decals hold up. Also black, white, and dark gray. The other two versions look like show versions. This looks like one of the versions that are in usage, are being used. This is a division from an air unit from Normandy. And then at the end we have some painting instructions for the munitions. We've got even for the rack, for the cruise missile, GBU-12s, air-to-air missile Micah 1R, and air-to-air missile Micah EM. The underwing pylons, the different types. The instructions look pretty good and pretty complete. They made it really simple to follow for people that are probably not so experienced with models. Very small steps at a time. They probably could have saved a little paper and ink. So here's our one very large decal sheet. You see the pieces for the tails for this Arctic Tiger. Looks really cool. I guess these are for the wings, it looks like. So there's a lot of painting plus the decals that go together on it. And we have our roundels, they look good. And a lot of markings. A whole lot of different markings. Some of this stuff, I don't know. I like to paint as much as I can. The paint lasts longer. I've said that a lot of times, I think. But some small, these stuff like this, unless it's raised on the model, that would be hard to paint. Especially the little black line around it. But, maybe possible. The decals look good. That's one thing I can say about Revell. Their decals are usually pretty good. I can't say about the rest of their models. But I have had problems with older kits. Like the space shuttle I built. It has all these black pieces around it. And it's all peeling off. And after just a couple of years. And I sprayed it with matte varnish. So this is our Sprue A. We have the intakes and the wings. I don't know if you can see, but here on the wings is some marring here from the molding. I don't really know what that's caused from. Maybe somebody can tell me. I would really like to know what it's caused from. There are some scratches here too, but it shouldn't be hard to polish out. All the parts were stuffed into one bag. So you see the intakes aren't very detailed on the insides. Lots of pin marks on the insides of the wings, but they're all sunken in, so that shouldn't be a problem to get them together. Sunken in pin marks on the inside, that's always the best way. And you see now, the Revell is on the inside of the wing, and not on the outside like it used to be on old monogram models. So we have a lot of good detail here. Riveting, engraved panel lines. The molding looks pretty good. There's no flash to be seen here. Other than the marring from the molding, Tree A looks pretty okay. So here is Sprue B. This has your fuselage halves. This has the landing gear bay with a lot of detail inside. Wow. You have your pilot seat, nose cone, the canards, and some other detail parts. Here's your sides of the seat. The seat looks really good. The interior, the control panels look good here on the sides, but there's nothing in the bottom. No cables, piping, whatever. I really don't know what it looks like on the inside, but I figure there's going to be some stuff running around the bottom. You're not going to really see it in the kit, I guess. Especially with a closed canopy. You see they put some thought into it. There's a little piece sticking up here from the nose. And they put something here so it doesn't get broken off. Thank you, Revell. There's a lot of nice engraved detail here, as well as riveting. But I thought on these newer aircraft they didn't rivet. I mean, the American ones. I read about that somewhere. do something else. But the detail, the engraved detail looks really good. The riveting looks really good. You got to see here, the inside of the wheel bay. That looks great. Wow. They actually put some thought into molding that. That has the, what is it called? Slide mold to get all that in there. But it looks nice. I can't say nothing about the accuracy though. So here we have Sprues C. We have our tail. 2 more nose cones. And the exhaust. We have pieces to missiles here, the fins on the back. We have this is like a mix match a little bit. There's the parts to the cockpit. These to the back, the part in the back, and there's the part in the front, like a dashboard, I guess. This looks like the cover for the air brake. This will be, I think, the cruise missile, or oh, these are for this. Maybe that too. Those are the fuel tanks. We have some doors here. The air refueling probe. I'm not seeing any flash at all. I'm sure this is a new molding. Looks like some missile tips here. Some missile tips and the missile fins. A lot of good detail molded into all these parts. Got rivets along here on the pylons. The tail looks really good, rivets long. And you have to cut this piece here off the top and see how it's, yeah, it's going to be a little difficult to get it off without damaging here. You have to be really careful. There's detail here on the inside of the exhaust as well as the outside. And here on the inside here, there's also some detail in there. It looks like rings. It looks like there's rings in there. The inside of the exhaust nozzles. There's our missiles too. So here's Sprues D. Here we have our main landing gear. Main landing gear, front landing gear. All the wheels, you see they're weighted. They look really good too, I think. They're really nicely detailed. Here's more parts to the landing gear. All of these here. One pylon. It's like this is the front part underneath where the front landing gear goes in, and also the doors to the front here. You see inside of there is also fairly well detailed. I think the wheels look pretty good. You see, the only problem when they're split in half like this, you always get a mark around it where you glue it. You gotta be really careful with the glue not to get that mark, but some ends up squeezing out anyways. The tail hook looks good as well. Really nice molding. Sprues E is our clear sprue. It was supposed to be together somehow, but you see it broke off. So here you have a really nice canopy. It is kind of thick, I think, maybe, but it has some nice riveting along the sides. There's an armor plate there, also nice. Lots of little lights and stuff, but it's kind of twisted. This was the only tree that was in a separate bag, but it didn't help to put it in a separate bag. It still got a little scratch here on top. Some kit manufacturers put it in this It's like foam or something, and that helps protect it. Even though I really don't like all this extra plastic and stuff, but I guess in some cases it's okay. So here we have tree F, our Sprue F. Here we have our external fuel tanks, as well as a cruise missile, a couple pylons, a bunch of fins, little missile tips, gear bay doors. On the external fuel tanks there's a lot of good detail. Maybe the cruise missile is supposed to be so plain. There's not, I mean, there's some engraved lines there and stuff, but maybe it is so simple. Not sure. The pylon looks good as well. Here we have Sprue G. You see our GBUs, missiles, pylons, our triple racks here. They all look really nicely detailed. You see on these triple racks there's also a lot of good detail. Pylons as well. And here's our last sprue, Sprue H. It's the one where you're not going to use very much. You use these two missiles, and here these two tips, and there was something else here you use. I don't remember exactly what the other one was. It was the missiles, the tips, something else. But you see, with this tree, you could make another version. You see a different landing gear nose here, different wheels, different landing gear altogether. You know, different wheels for the front and the back. And this looks like, well, here you have the main landing gear. This looks like the front landing gear. It's totally different. There's some other weapons here as well. Even on the parts you don't use, like here, there's good detail there inside. And I think this model kit looks excellent. I was also impressed with the F-15E that I built, although I don't know if it was me or if it was the kit, but the canopy didn't fit right. Could have been my mistake, I'm not really sure. It's kind of hard to say unless I talk to other people that's built it too. Maybe anybody that's built the F-15E can tell me if you had problems with the canopy fit. So in my next video, we'll be taking a look at the Golden Hind, flagship of Sir Francis Drake. This is a really old Revell kit. Looks like a 70s era, I would think. I got it cheap. What can I say? I like to try to build classic stuff. Make it look good, make it look better, whatever. We'll take a look at this one. I've done this one before. This is a redo. Thanks for watching. Please like and subscribe. And until then,